Hello again. This is now going to be an introduction to geometry. In this video we will be naming two-dimensional shapes. I know it sounds simple, but you have to start somewhere. We'll start with triangles, then squares, and then circles. I can promise you these shapes are so common they are worth knowing well and will form a solid foundation for further videos. Later, in the videos G2, G3 and G4, we will be analyzing the first of the three shapes and their properties. As I said, we start with simple ideas. Later, I would explain them in more detail so that the names of the two-dimensional shapes and 3D shapes are fixed in your memory. We will start with some names you should remember. The Triwizard Cup in Harry Potter. Now we have a triangle, tri meaning three. A quad bike is so named because it has 4 wheels. A quadrilateral has 4 sides, and the lateral means the lines are adjacent. In The Lion King, we have the circle of life. That explains itself, really. And now we come to the different types of triangle. This is the right angle triangle. Probably the most important one you need to learn. The shaded area in the corner, indicated by the red arrow, shows that this is the right angle, or 90 degrees. The lengths of the two sides can vary, and they will determine what the length of the hypotenuse is. This is an isosceles triangle. If you have a problem remembering the name, just think of isosceles because it's higher than the rest. The red tick marks on the sides of the triangle show that these sides are of equal length. They are sort of an equal sign, aren't they? You will see these throughout the course. This is an equilateral triangle. All 3 sides are of equal length, hence the name equal. Because they are all the same length, all 3 angles must be the same, and because of the rule that a triangle has 180 degrees, then each angle must be 60 degrees. Lastly is the oblique triangle. If there is an angle greater than 90 degrees in the triangle, then it is called oblique. Again, the length of the sides will determine the length of the hypotenuse. And now we have the quadrilateral. It has 4 sides. I have emphasized the I in quadrilateral because this will help spelling. The quadrilateral has 4 sides, and the opposite sides are the same length. This one is slightly unusual. It's called a rhombus. All 4 sides are the same length, but we don't have a right angle this time. This diamond shape is called a kite, but you don't need me to tell you that. This shape is called a trapezium. The top and bottom lines are parallel, and this is another trapezium, and you can see the top and bottom lines are parallel, but the sides, they just want to do their own thing. And finally, the parallelogram. The sides opposite to each other are the same length. And now we will look at the circle and name all the little bits that it's constructed from. There is the circle, you know that, don't you? This is the diameter. It goes from one side to the other, and it must pass through the center of the circle. This is the largest dimension you can have. Next, we have the radius, and that goes from the center of the circle to the edge. Obviously, the radius is half the length of the diameter. A sector is an area of a circle that is enclosed by two radiuses or two radii. A chord will join 2 points on the circumference, but it does not go through the center. At this point, I should mention the circumference is the line that goes all the way around the circle, and there is a formula to work out the length of the circumference. If we draw a line along the circumference of the circle, joining the end points of the chord and taking the shortest path, we have an arc. If you draw here is another chord, then the length of the join the end points of the chord that it to the center of the circle is called an arc. We create a triangle, and it has a right angle if we bisect the chord into two pieces. And there is the circumference, which I forgot to mention at the beginning. Ah, silly me.